iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, today will be the first day of my waiver wire podcast, the FAAB, the FAB, the free agency budget. How much should you spend? What should you do? So let's discuss this. I'll give you some players who I like, but I want to discuss this as a whole. So firstly, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. So most leagues, you're used to getting the $1,000, right, for the FAB budget, which I get. But that money's got to last you a very, very long time. It's not like football, right? Football, you basically have 13 weeks. And when a guy's there, you got to strike because who knows what's going to happen 3 weeks from now. But in baseball, guys get injured. Guys get sent down, minor leaguers come up, so you can't go and spend too much on FAB. Now, occasionally, Jose Fernandez, may he rest in peace, some dude in my league spent $999 on him and got him. It was the right move. He was a superstar. Most guys are not that good. Most times when you spend $50 and $60 in baseball, which is like 50 or 60% of your budget, if you had $100 or $500 or $600 if you had $1,000, you're overspending. So you need to control your spending habits early. But my team sucks. I got to make this guy. I got to get him. Yeah, oh my God. Most of the guys you pick up aren't going to be superstars. Rarely. Last year I picked up Tommy Pham. Boom. A few years back I picked up Ben Zobrist. Boom. If I can remember the good pickup, that tells you how rare it is to find a Tommy Pham. Doesn't always happen that way. And then sometimes it's a guy like Tommy Pham who nobody's expecting to be that good. He's Tommy Pham. How good can he be? Boom, he's great. Rare. So I want you to be aggressive, but I want you to be smart. All right, look at a player. Look at his ability, look at what you're taking out of your lineup for this guy, and ask yourself, is he worth it? For example, Christian Villanueva. Everybody's going to want to be on this guy. Had 3 home runs in a game. Might be the new Padres third baseman. But who are you taking out of your lineup for him? You taking out Eugenio Suarez? At the end of the day, how much better is Villanueva than Suarez? 2 home runs? Maybe. I think Suarez is a better player. I'm just throwing it out there for you. So don't do that. Don't overbid on what's not necessary. Bid on a closer. That's necessary. Bid on a starter. That's necessary. Bidding on a third baseman who's 26 years old, who had a good game, not necessary. Be careful. I worry about that. Right? I worry about that. How many at-bats is a guy going to get for you? Well, he's going to play 3 days a week. Is that really good enough? Is that better than the replacement player you have? Look at what you have, look at what you're getting, and ask yourself, is it significant? If it is, then bid appropriately. If it's not, don't overbid. Don't overbid. Be careful. Be reasonable. Sometimes the best bids are the ones you don't get. Sometimes getting your 4th player is better than getting your 1st player. All right, I'm going to give you some players. Firstly, at catcher, Max Stassi from Houston. Have you noticed that Brian McCann's not playing every day? He's playing a lot less now. The guy's like, 35, 36 years old. Max Stassi's playing a little bit more. He's in a really good lineup, which means he's going to get opportunities. I think this guy can get 10 or 15 home runs. I'm looking at Max Stassi if I need a catcher. I'm also looking at Chris Iannetta. Plays in Coors Field, always a good sign. I like Coors Field. I like Chris Iannetto. Could hit 20 home runs there. How about some infielders? Jose Martinez. So let's talk about this. I'm sure he was probably drafted in your league, but in case he wasn't. But this guy, he was hot the first 2 games of the season, then he hasn't been so hot. Where's the home runs? He's not so good. Yes, he is. This is baseball. This is baseball. You're not as good as you are when you're hot, and you're not as bad as you are when you're cold. But this guy's a professional hitter who's going to go 300 with 28 home runs and 80 RBIs. This is who you pay for. You pay for something that I can guarantee. Martinez is a really good hitter. Boom. You pay for that. Worth it. Paul DeJong. Hello. How many times can I tell you about this guy? How many times can I tell you about this guy? He's good. Pick him up. If he's out there in your league, get him. I'm going to give you another guy who I like. How about Dansby Swanson? Dansby Swanson, post-hype sleeper. He can hit. Look, this is a guy who Ron Chandler, who's on the Mount Rushmore of fantasy baseball analysts, drafted in like the 13th round last year at the FSTA, said to me at the time, I quote, this guy can go 15-15. I believe it, Ron. I believe it. So he sucked last year. Big whoop. Last year was last year. Luis Severino sucked his first year too. Now look at him. Would you want him on your team? I think you would. How about a guy nobody's thinking of? Nobody's thinking of this guy. Yolmer Sanchez. He's not sexy, but he can hit. Matt Davidson. He's the sexy player. People are going to bid on Matt Davidson. Matt Davidson is Kevin Moss light. Going to have a couple of big games. Then he's going to go 0 for 50. Yolmer Sanchez, he's like a Chinese water torture. 2 for 3, 1 for 4, 1 for 3, 2 for 4, 1 for 3, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Might be able to use that in an AL-only league. Be very careful bidding on guys who are hot now before you get them. For example, Nick Ahmed. Nick Ahmed is hitting .471. So let me just break something to you. He's not going to hit .471 for the year. I know. I didn't mean to break that to you. I'm sorry. I apologize. But Nick Ahmed is like a .230 hitter. So if he's hitting .471 now, that means he's probably going to go 0 for April. And if he's hot now, which he is, very hot, and I'm not saying he's not, he's very hot, do you think it's going to hold up? See, I want the guy in the cold streak who's going to get hot, not the guy in the hot streak who's going to get cold. You understand? Brian Anderson's going to be a big pickup. Be careful. I like Brian Anderson. I think there's something there. But Martin Prado's going to come back, and you know that Derek Jeter wants to trade that guy. But they have to find a spot for him. Maybe Prado plays third base. Maybe he plays the outfield. Who knows where he's going to play? But you know they're going to play Prado because they want to showcase him to trade him. That may come at the expense of Brian Anderson. Please nobody ask me about Preston Tucker. Preston Tucker's a placeholder for Ronald Acuna. You have Markakis, Inciarte, and Acuna. Preston Tucker, 4th outfielder. Now, he could be a useful 4th outfielder, but he's still just a 4th outfielder. Okay? So he's going to need an injury to do anything. Pitching. Eduardo Rodriguez, I'm in. Go get him. I talked about him before. Pitches for the Red Sox. Could have 12 wins. ERA of 3-something. A lot of strikeouts. He's back this weekend. Go all in. Get him. Alex Cobb, going to be activated next week. I like Alex Cobb. I really used to love Alex Cobb. He's one of my favorite pitchers in fantasy. But then he got smashed in the head with a ball, if you remember that. And I don't know if he's ever been the same. And now he goes to Camden Yards. Good luck with that. Pitching in a home run park against AL East teams. That could get ugly. Josh Donaldson, boom. Mookie Betts, boom. Aaron Judge, boom. Alex Cobb's ERA, 5.2. It's possible. Be careful with him. I like Jake Junis. I do. I like Jake Junis a lot, but he pitches on a terrible team. So when you're bidding on Jake Junis this week, be careful because he might not win 10 games. Have you seen the Royals play? They stink. Take a look at guys who have warts and be careful when you bid on them. Marco Gonzalez. I like Marco Gonzalez, but he's a soft tosser. He's only going to have maybe about 120 strikeouts if he throws 180 innings. That's not going to help you. That actually may hurt you. So as much as I like Marco Gonzalez, be careful with him. Right? Don't overbid on a guy who can hurt you in categories. Trevor Williams. I like Trevor Williams, and occasionally he throws a great start, but he's wildly inconsistent. Wildly inconsistent. Kyle Gibson, same thing. I don't like bidding big money on guys who can potentially hurt me. Now, I'm not saying that Trevor Williams and Marco Gonzalez are going to hurt me, and Kyle Gibson, but I'm saying they're not hard throwers. They're not big strikeout guys. Those guys worry me. I'd rather bid more on Ronaldo Lopez because he can strike out dudes. He just needs to harness the walks. I'd rather bid on German Marquez. This is a good arm for the Rockies, but he's got to harness the walks. That's what I'd rather do. I'd rather bid money on strikeout guys who may get better than control guys who could get lit up. That's dangerous. All right, some more guys for you. Jack Flaherty was sent down to the minor leagues, but he's going to be back, and he's pretty good. That guy is the sixth starter for the Cardinals, and as soon as somebody else gets injured, boom, he's back up there. If you could pick up minor league guys, I'd pick up Jack Flaherty right now. I would. And if you're looking for potential closers, 1, Joe Jimenez. Shane Green stinks. 2, how about Kenyon Middleton? Cam Bedrosian, the Angels seem to like Cam Bedrosian to be their guy in the 7th and 8th inning. Blake Parker stinks of epically proportions. He stinks. Maybe Kenyon Middleton's the guy. It's quite possible. And what about Corey Nebel? That was a gruesome injury there. Hamstring, could be out for quite a while. Maybe Josh Hader. Maybe Jacob Barnes. There's a lot of guys in that Brewers bullpen. But I think Barnes may end up being the guy if it's not Hader. Don't be a hater. I like Josh Hader, but I do like Jacob Barnes too. So I haven't really felt like there's one name here that I absolutely adore. It's not like football. In football, I give you the couple of names. I'm like, you got to be in on this guy. Kenyon Drake, all in. Right? We do that in football. In baseball, I don't feel that way. So once again, let's recap. Look at your team. Identify the needs. How much better is the guy you're going to pick up off waivers than what you have? Then bid accordingly. If he's not so much better, save your money. Don't overspend on crap. Crap is crap no matter what. By the way, I forgot a player that I want to mention, Tyler Mahle. Sean Childs loved him in this offseason. Good job, Sean, on that one. He pitched very well. That's a guy I might bid on. Why? Because he's got potential. There's big upside there. See, I'd rather bid on guys with upside than guys I know are marginal. Marginal doesn't win me a fantasy title. High upside guys do. Do that and find your way to a fantasy baseball championship. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Take your time with FAB. Go look up the names. Write them down now and then check them on Saturday and Sunday. You have questions? Go into the Scout Fantasy Sports Members Forum. We'll answer your questions. Who to drop, who to pick up. It's me, it's Ronis, it's Sean Childs, doing whatever we can to help you win your fantasy baseball leagues. All right, this is Dr. Roto saying be well, take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!